They asked for volunteers. That's how it always started. The commanding officer stood in front of the platoon and said they needed someone small, someone brave, someone willing to go into places where most people wouldn't survive. And you raised your hand. You actually raised your hand. Looking back now, you can't believe you did it. But you were young and stupid and you thought you were invincible. You had no idea what you were volunteering for. This is what it's like to be a tunnel rat. This is what it's like to crawl into the earth with nothing but a flashlight and a pistol, knowing that every inch forward could be your last. The Coochie tunnels are a nightmare made real. The Viet Cong built them over years, creating an underground network that stretches for miles, multiple levels, command centers, hospitals, living quarters, supply depots, all of it hidden beneath the jungle floor. And your job is to go down there and clear them out. Your job is to crawl through passages barely wide enough for your body in complete darkness, knowing that enemy soldiers could be waiting around any corner. The first time you go down, you think you're prepared. You've been briefed, you've been trained, you know what to expect, except you don't. You don't know anything until you're actually standing at the entrance to a tunnel, looking down into a black hole in the ground that seems to go on forever. Your squad found this tunnel entrance during a patrol. It was hidden under brush and dirt. Someone almost stepped on it. Now everyone's standing around looking at it, and the squad leader's looking at you. Because you're the tunnel rat. This is your job. This is what you volunteered for. You check your gear one more time. You've got a flashlight, a pistol, a knife, a rope tied around your waist so the guys above can pull you out if things go wrong. That's it. That's all you get. You can't bring a rifle because the tunnels are too narrow. You can't bring grenades because you might collapse the tunnel on yourself. You can't bring anything that would actually make you feel safe. Just a flashlight and a pistol and the hope that you see the enemy before they see you. You lower yourself into the hole. The opening is small. You have to squeeze through. Your shoulders barely fit. And immediately everything changes. The air is different down here. It's thick and stale and hard to breathe. The temperature drops. The sounds from above disappear. You're in a different world now. A world of absolute darkness and absolute silence. You turn on your flashlight. The beam cuts through the black, showing you a narrow passage leading forward. The tunnel is maybe 3 feet high, maybe 2 feet wide. You can't stand. You can't even crouch properly. You have to crawl on your hands and knees, sometimes on your belly. The walls are dirt, held up by wooden supports. The ceiling is inches from your head. If this tunnel collapses, you're buried alive. There's no escape. You start moving forward. Every movement makes noise. Your breathing sounds impossibly loud in the silence. Your gear scrapes against the walls. You're trying to be quiet, but it's impossible. If someone's down here, they already know you're coming. They can hear you. They can hear every move you make. The tunnel curves. You can't see what's ahead. You can't see more than a few feet in front of you. Your flashlight only shows you a small circle of earth and darkness. Beyond that circle, anything could be waiting. An enemy soldier with a weapon, a booby trap, a dead end, a vertical shaft that drops into nothing. You don't know. You can't know until you're right on top of it. Your heart is pounding so hard you can feel it in your throat. Sweat is pouring down your face even though it's cool down here. Your hands are shaking. Every instinct in your body is screaming at you to go back, to get out, to get back to the surface where there's light and air and space. But you keep moving forward because that's the job. That's what you volunteered for. You've been crawling for maybe 10 minutes when you see something ahead, a shape in the darkness. You freeze. Your flashlight is pointed right at it, but you can't tell what it is. It could be equipment. It could be supplies. It could be a body. It could be a person. a living person who's about to shoot you. You're holding your pistol in one hand and your flashlight in the other. If you need to shoot, you have to aim with one hand while crawling. There's no room to take a proper stance. There's no room to move. You're completely exposed and completely vulnerable. If someone shoots at you down here, you're dead. There's no cover. There's no way to dodge. You just die. You move closer to the shape, slowly, inch by inch. Your finger is on the trigger. Your whole body is tense, ready, waiting. And then you see what it is. Supplies, bags of rice, ammunition boxes, equipment. No people. You breathe out. You didn't even realize you were holding your breath.
But now you have to decide. Do you go back and report this, or do you keep going? The tunnel continues past the supplies. It keeps going deeper, and you don't know what's down there. You don't know if this is the end or if there's more. Command wants you to clear the entire tunnel system if possible. They want intelligence. They want to know what's down here. And the only way to find out is to keep going. You keep going. The tunnel splits. 2 passages leading in different directions. You have to choose, left or right. One might lead to more supplies. One might lead to enemy soldiers. One might lead to a dead end. One might lead to a trap. You have no way of knowing. You're making a blind choice that could get you killed. You go left. The passage gets narrower. You're squeezing through now. Your shoulders are scraping against both walls. Your back is scraping against the ceiling. You're barely moving, just pushing yourself forward inch by inch. And then you realize something that makes your blood run cold. If you need to turn around, you can't. The passage is too narrow. You can only move forward. There's no going back. Not here. Not now. Panic starts to set in. Real panic. You're trapped underground in a space barely big enough for your body, with no way to turn around, no way to escape, crawling forward into darkness with no idea what's ahead. Your breathing gets faster. Your chest feels tight. You're starting to hyperventilate. And if you panic down here, you die. If you lose control, you die. You have to stay calm. You have to breathe. You have to keep moving. The passage opens up slightly, enough that you can move a little easier, enough that you feel like you can breathe again. And that's when you hear it. A sound, movement, ahead of you. In the darkness, someone else is down here. You kill your flashlight. Instant darkness, complete and total black. You can't see your hand in front of your face. You can't see anything, but you can hear. You can hear breathing that isn't yours. You can hear movement, someone crawling, coming toward you. Your mind is racing. Is it another tunnel rat? Is it an enemy soldier? Are they armed? Can they see you? Do they know you're here? You're holding your pistol, but you can't see to aim. If you turn your flashlight back on, you give away your position. But if you don't turn it on, you're blind. You make a decision. You turn on the flashlight and you point your pistol at the same time. The beam of light shows you a face. A Vietnamese face. Young. Maybe younger than you. His eyes go wide. He's got a weapon. An AK-47. He's bringing it up. You don't think. You just react. You fire. The sound in the enclosed space is deafening. Your ears are ringing. The muzzle flash blinds you temporarily, and when your vision clears, he's not moving anymore.
You just killed someone. At point-blank range. In a tunnel underground. You can smell the gunpowder. You can see the blood. And you have to keep moving. You have to get past the body. You have to crawl over it because there's no room to go round.
You have to touch it. You have to push it aside. And every part of you wants to scream, but you can't. You have to stay quiet, because there might be more of them down here. You keep moving. You don't know how long you've been down here now. 20 minutes? An hour? Time doesn't work the same way in the tunnels. Everything feels stretched out and compressed at the same time. You're exhausted. Your arms are shaking. Your legs are cramping. Your lungs are burning from the bad air. But you keep going, because the only way out is forward. You find more rooms, more supplies, documents that intelligence will want to see. Maps, papers with writing you can't read. You're stuffing them into your pockets. You're doing your job. But all you can think about is getting out. All you can think about is seeing daylight again. The tunnel starts to slope upward. You're climbing now, using your hands and feet to push yourself up through a narrow shaft. And then you see it. Light. Actual light. Daylight filtering down from above. There's an exit. You're almost out. You push yourself up through the opening and you emerge into the jungle. The sunlight is blinding after being in the dark for so long. The air feels amazing. You're breathing real air. You're back on the surface. You made it out. Your squad is there. They're pulling you up. They're checking if you're okay. And you realize you're covered in dirt and blood and sweat. Your hands are shaking so badly you can barely hold on to your pistol. Your legs feel like they might give out, but you're alive. You made it. You survived. The squad leader is asking you what you found down there. You tell him about the supplies, the documents, the enemy soldier. You hand over the papers you collected, and then he tells you something that makes your stomach drop. They found another entrance. They need you to go down again.
This is the reality of being a tunnel rat. It's not one time. It's not one tunnel. It's every time they find an entrance. It's every patrol. It's crawling into the earth over and over again, knowing that eventually your luck is going to run out, knowing that one of these times you're not coming back up. Some tunnel rats did dozens of missions. Some did hundreds. They kept going down because someone had to, because the tunnels were a major part of the enemy's strategy and someone had to clear them. And the only people who could do it were the ones small enough to fit, the ones brave enough or crazy enough to volunteer. The psychological toll was enormous. Imagine doing this day after day, crawling into darkness, fighting enemy soldiers in spaces where you can barely move, never knowing if the next tunnel is going to be the one where you die. Some tunnel rats broke down. Some refused to go down anymore. Some volunteered for regular infantry duty because combat above ground felt safer than combat below it. The claustrophobia alone was enough to destroy people. Being underground in tight spaces with no way out, the air getting thinner the deeper you go, the walls pressing in from all sides, the darkness that's so complete it feels like it has weight, and knowing that at any moment the tunnel could collapse and bury you alive, knowing that if you get wounded down there, there's no way to evacuate you, no way to get help. You either crawl out yourself or you die down there. The booby traps were another nightmare. The Viet Cong would set traps in the tunnels, grenades rigged to wires, punji stakes hidden in the floor, venomous snakes and scorpions released into passages. Tunnel rats had to watch for all of this while crawling in the dark, while trying to stay quiet, while searching for enemy soldiers. One mistake meant death. And even when you survived a tunnel, even when you made it back to the surface, the psychological damage was done. The nightmares started.
dreams of being trapped underground, dreams of suffocating, dreams of the people you killed down there in the dark. Tunnel rats had some of the highest rates of PTSD among Vietnam veterans. The trauma of what they experienced stayed with them for life. Years later, some tunnel rats still can't go into tight spaces, can't go into basements or caves or anywhere that feels enclosed. The panic comes back, the feeling of being trapped, the memory of crawling through darkness with death waiting around every corner. It never really goes away. It just becomes something you live with. So when people talk about the bravest soldiers in Vietnam, tunnel rats deserve to be in that conversation. They volunteered for a job that was almost certain death. They crawled into hell armed with nothing but a pistol and a flashlight. They faced enemy soldiers in conditions that gave every advantage to the enemy. And they did it over and over again because someone had to. If you were a tunnel rat in Vietnam, you learned something about fear that most people never learn. You learned that you can be absolutely terrified and still function. You learned that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite the fear. You learned what it means to face death in the most intimate way possible, not from a distance, not from behind cover, but face to face in the darkness underground where there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. The tunnel rats who survived carried those lessons with them forever. They knew what they were capable of. They knew they had faced the worst and made it through. But they also knew the cost. They knew what it took out of them. They knew that part of them was still down in those tunnels, crawling through the dark, waiting for the light that might never come.